Blessings, welcome in. I hope everyone is doing well. I am well. So this is more of a musing. I'm just gonna roll with it and see where it goes. I was just sitting here having a deep discussion and dialogue with my higher self and discussing like really harsh truths, like harsh ass fucking truths. Oh, that was interesting how that just glitched. Harsh truths, awarenesses from the human perspective, right? When we step into our multidimensionality and we exist in various forms, planes, identities, beings, etc., shit begins to get really wonky when we're trying to integrate and bridge the gap between worlds, right? Our intuition, our knowing, our psychic gifts, whatever. Our knowing of what exists beyond this plane, right? It keeps glitching. Interesting. Our knowing. Because we've seen it. We're experiencing it. We're living it day in and day out. Yet our physical form is here. Yet the physicality, the reality itself is still not reflecting this higher frequency, these higher dimensionals experiences, right? And our guidance, when we're in alignment, our guidance system, our higher selves, God's source, your teams, whoever you connect with, right? They continue to communicate, to nudge you, to encourage you, stay on your path. You're going the right direction. Yeah. And it's like, I recognize and understand there's a lot of people that don't trust their intuition. They don't trust the signs and synchronicities. They don't trust the universe communicating to them, right? And I've known nothing outside of that. That's what I trust. That's what I know. That is my family. That is my companions, is the other world. And I will tell people, I trust what I can't see more than what I can see. I trust the other world and otherworldly beings, interdimensional beings, spirit, more than I trust humans. And that's a harsh thing to say, but it's true. I like to believe that spirit doesn't have an agenda, because humans do. Humans perceive through particular lenses. And those lenses tend to be shaded due to conditioning, pain, traumas, past experiences, etc. And it clouds our vision. It clouds our knowing. It clouds our intuition. And we just don't make correct decisions in our lives because of the density in which we hold. But for those of us that do travel outside of form, whether that's dream state meditations or awake meditations, and in constant dialogue with spirit in the other realms, that's the reality. That's the dream within the dream, but we're living the dream within this dream, if that makes sense. So I had this breaking point, right? And I recognized my path. My path. And I question my path often, as we all do. And the things that I go through. And I've been learning more and more of this service part, service to others. And I've been going through situations as far as sacrifice and questioning the idea of sacrifice, but then recognizing this sacrifice through God's love. It's not sacrificing self for others so that you're like the scapegoat, you're the fucking whipping post, that you're the punching bag, that you're the well that people siphon from. But that happens. It does happen. And that's kind of like a reality check that we have to come to terms with. That when we're trying to walk as God's source, as this Christ consciousness, this unity consciousness, I found myself, and I was making these statements, and I was angry, and I was mad, and I'm like, you expect me to love unconditionally. You expect me to give unconditionally. You expect me to do all these things in service, yet knowing that I'm not receiving what I need or that I truly desire. And from a human perspective, you can feel kind of bitter about that, right? Because, we are co-creators. We create our reality. So why can't I create these certain things? What's the bigger plan? What am I not seeing here? And as I spoke of this energy of like, I give to you, I support you, I love you, I care for you, I show you, I guide you, I encourage you, I nurture you, yet you deny me. And it was like, I was like, whoa, where'd that come from? Yet you deny me. And I'm not a huge person of following biblical texts, but I think that is a phrasing where God says, like, of his people, like, I give all these things and help cultivate this reality for you, yet you deny me. You deny who I am, my truth. The reverie, the reverence. So, excuse me, my point is, the more that we ascend and we are embodying this consciousness, the struggle with the human, our beastly nature. And I understand most people, like, when they hear beastly, they think of like sexual, and it's all of it. It's the fact that human is animal and divine, right? Animal and divine. That was the original creation, transformation, evolution to man. So to rid and try to deny that beastly nature is denying aspects of self, right? Yeah, I just got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. That's interesting. So, Spirit's been trying to teach me more about our beastly natures, our primal aspects. And we always identify them as cardinal desires and things like that. But it's that fire of creation. Our animalistic natures, which are emotions. And those emotions can be so overwhelming. And I've been going through it lately. And usually I'm pretty balanced, but I've had experiences that, hey, where did you come from? That I was not expecting. And my world's been completely flipped upside down. And I'm trying to heal things that I still need healing with. We're always healing. Learning to integrate, coming to more awarenesses, and trying to stay focused and not become bitter about my experiences. Am I angry in the moment? Absolutely. Am I yelling at my higher self? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But it's our beastly natures. And God, our universe, our higher selves are so forgiving when we step into our lower selves, when we step into that animal part of us, which is just instinctual, just trying to survive. And that's not to say that's right, wrong, or indifferent. It's saying it's still part of our nature. And as much as we evolve and try to anchor in this consciousness, it becomes more of an internal fight that we're battling. It's not against the world, it's ourselves. It's like picturing this highly evolved being and trying to fit it into an animal form. It's so polar that it's going to be chaotic trying to get these two to work together and harmonize. And the ancients have talked about this. Carl Jung, it's the tension, the opposition of polar forces. We are trying to reintegrate divine essence, awareness, consciousness within a physical form that is still built and designed from an animalistic viewpoint. Is that the correct way I want to say it? But you get what I'm trying to communicate here. Everything that comes along with it, the wounding, the pain, the suffering, the emotions, the turmoil, the bliss, the highs, the love, the passion, the pleasure. It's this whole gambit of experience. And trying to be completely grateful for every experience. I'm going to tell you, I just went through a whole fucking spiel with my higher self, with my God, my source, and my team. And I felt so betrayed by the other world. And that's not something that happens. Because again, that's That's my source. That's what I trust. That's what I know. I know I'm safe. I'm protected. I'm held. I am loved. I am seen. It's when I would enter the human space, the animal, I didn't trust. So you see the reflective aspect where it was being projected back on me of being that feral animal because I wasn't trusting the reality in which I was living. Those that I encountered. Have you ever seen if you ever seen like rescue animals or just ferals, feral cats, feral dogs, whatever, wild animals, they don't just come up to humans and trust them. No, you have to show them. You have to show them that you're willing and able for them to trust you. They know that they're safe in your space and in your environment. And it takes patience. It takes time. It takes a lot of nurturing, right? And if we can look at the divine, that's what they're doing with us. Because we're all fucking hypervigilant, traumatized, and scared. Wanting just to be loved, to be taken care of, to be nurtured, to be comforted, to be held, to be supported. You know? So it's like I'm getting all these different symbolisms of an imagery that is explaining human nature in various forms and how the divine sees us and how we see through the divine's lens, not through the human lens. But when we come into and we're trying to integrate these higher awarenesses and perspectives and consciousness, we will continue to fluctuate these, what some may perceive as levels of awareness, because we are constantly working with various aspects of ourselves. We're moving from our higher dimensional selves to our, you want to consider middle and lower. It's the three realms: sky, middle, underworld, you know? And again, this is why it's perceived and it's been illustrated this way throughout history, throughout time. This is all a function and process in which we are all going through within our physical forms that we're constantly working to alchemize and integrate and heal so that we may individuate. But the more that we are anchoring in this Godhead, this our higher selves, our avatars, this Christ unity consciousness, we will be met with more and more resistance. We will be met with more situations that are going to show us differently, that are going to break us or try to break us, to bring us more suffering, to bring us more pain, so that we can come through it and still walk as that higher love. Willing to give freely, recognizing we may not receive what we're giving. And I know a lot in our communities, it's been an issue of like healers and practitioners and things like that giving way too much and draining themselves. Yes, you need to know when to step out, take your energy back, put your boundaries back up, stop it's not that you stop giving, because I've tried it many fucking times and I just can't do it. I just cannot not give to the people that I love, that I care about, that I want to see thrive. I want to see evolve. I want to see them be successful. And whether they're consciously or unconsciously, there are times I feel like they're taking advantage of me. But I've been gifted as a vessel of divine flow. And I am constantly being replenished and refilled so that I can emanate, and share that energy with people. And are there times when my ego and my human gets in the way and I feel like I'm being drained, I'm being siphoned, that people actually don't fucking care? They're just living and looshing off of me? Yeah, I do have those moments. But then I have to go back behind God's eyes and see through their lens and say, but I'm an infinite source. I have the ability to replenish. I have the ability to heal. And I have more than enough to give. When we're afraid to give that energy out, that means we're holding, we are in fear, we are lacking, we're afraid of someone taking. But God's source, Mother Gaia, doesn't state, I give you all this, but you have no gratitude. Or you just keep taking, knowingly that humans just take, consume, right? But when does God or the universe ever stop giving? When does Mother Gaia stop giving, replenishing, rebirthing, growing, dying? So my point is seeing all these things from a higher perspective, seeing through the eyes of God. It's a humbling experience when we can just move and shift the ego out of the way. Recognizing yes, I'm in pain right now. I'm hurt. I feel betrayed. My heart is breaking. And it's momentary. I cried, I snotted, I wailed, I keened. If anybody knows what keening is. But anyway, I did all those things and I had my human moment. But recognize it doesn't define and it can't take me down. It may alter and throw me off balance for a little bit. But I have to put myself back into that state, that awareness again, and say, you know what? I've been chosen to be a divine vessel. And I am an infinite source. And I'm meant to gift that and offer that to people, to show them God's love, to show them magic, to help them believe and see what they can't see, and trust that, trust themselves, trust their knowing. Because what is perceived here is all right here. And although it's that love of all of humanity, God doesn't differentiate. God doesn't judge. And I recognize, in the Bible and things like that, there's a lot of judgment, but that's man-made. God doesn't judge. Mother Gaia doesn't judge. She loves all her children. And we are meant to be the personifications of that consciousness, of that energy, and walk daily holding that light, holding that love, and breathing that in and affecting our realities. But if we continue to become bitter, if we continue to close down, if we continue to allow the pain and the suffering to take us under, to continue to give our power away and saying no more. Yes. Do I feel foolish? Absolutely. Do I always say not again, not again, not again? But it teaches us discernment. It does. It teaches us discernment. It fine-tunes our skills. And after a while, when you've been doing it for so fucking long, you're like, how many more of these lessons that I have to go through of the same concepts and ideas? Well, it's because, you know what? In my particular bloodline, it's deep. It's a deep-seated wound that I'm constantly having to work through. But at the end of it, I am still putting my trust and faith in the other world, in the unseen, into God, my higher self, because that is my navigational system. That's how I utilize my intuition and my gifts. And if I don't trust that, yeah, a high priestess. I mean, seriously. Yeah. Like, I was having moments of, like, pure humanness, and I haven't had that in a while, and it was just fucking weird, and I was like, my universe is lying to me. You've been feeding me bullshit all this fucking time. I've been creating this reality that's not fucking real, and I was angry. I was super mad. Because, and then you go into that human state of like, I'm fucking crazy. I've been creating this illusion, my own illusion. And we do that. But it was like my ego was getting ramped up. My mind was getting ramped up. And I had to cry the tears that I had to cry. And then I had to sit and actually just allow spirit to soothe me. For my higher self to soothe me, for me to soothe my inner child and say, it's okay, you're safe, you're protected. So I share these things because I recognize I'm not the only one that goes through these cycles, these seasons, these shifts, these thought forms. These energies we are all going through as collective. Yeah, and I was told that the other day. There was a mass collective abandonment wound that many of us are working through right now. So I share, just to share experience, to relate, and say that you're not alone. Sometimes it's very heavy, and we just do our best. But remember, you are here to be in God's image and walk this reality. We can get mad. You have every right to get angry. You need to feel what you need to feel. You're not wrong. Nobody's judging you but you. God still loves you. But God, the universe, wants us to walk as that emanation, purely. And that means, like, serving in the highest good of all. And that means it's going to hurt sometimes. you are going to get a few flesh wounds. But it's that devotion. And I understand. Not everybody signs up. Not everybody wants to do that. I get it. I don't blame you. I've tried to get out a few times. But my soul's like, no. You just keep going and keep doing what you're meant to do. And that's not everybody's purpose. That's okay. So, I just wanted to share a little bit of that musings, talk it out, talk out the energy so that we can alchemize it and integrate it and transmute it. So I appreciate you all. I thank you for listening to my musings. I hope they are helpful. And I send you all off with much love, many blessings on our journeys forward. Take care. Bye.